Hey everyone, hey Doken here. A few people are asking me on Twitter after I, sent some of my project report pictures, what the hell is this? How does it run? And I'm here to answer a few of those questions as fast as possible. Don't want to make this a super long video, but it's pretty simple to be honest. So what it is a Sega Naomi. It's the arcade hardware that ran some of the classics like Capcom vs. SNK 2, Marvel vs. Capcom 2. You can see a few others there. Power Stone, obviously, Guilty Gear, some of the Guilty Gear titles at least. I primarily run, fighting games on this, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, and of course CVS 2, my favorite of that era, in terms of at least the Naomi output. And yeah, this is very much as it seems, which is a Naomi bolted with some, some bolts, some nuts, and some, washers right there. And when I say nuts, of course, the PG kind. You know what I'm saying. Yeah, it's like anything else, in terms of the Naomi setup, if you're familiar with it, has a power source to supply power not only to the board, but to the net dim. It does require, you could look it up, but it requires different voltages for the board, and it also requires one for the net dim, specifically this setup. So you have to have both, unfortunately. So I epoxied this because this has no screw hole capabilities, obviously. It doesn't have little outlets like that for me to do it with the bolted in, unlike the JVS and the Sega Naomi did. So I epoxied it. As you can see, I can grab it right here, not moving at all whatsoever. It's in there, it's stuck. And this plastic wasn't too difficult to drill into, if you're wondering that as well. It was pretty simple, not a lot of scrapes, and it went, the drill went right through. So yeah, let's go ahead and walk through some of the other stuff. As you can see, power connections there. You see this 5-volt cable that's running, this black and red wire that's running here to the CF adapter that provides that power separately. You can see like there's also lights indicating if it's a good boot or not. Right here, you'll also see the VGA, which is how this is outputting. It's set to 480p right now, which is like the highest resolution that the Naomi could run. Then it also runs RCA out directly stereo through just, these RCA cables. You could run it through the JVS. I just find it easier to run it from the motherboard. I just have issues with the JVS for some reason. And then speaking of the JVS, you see this USB. It also connects to this JVS I/O adapter, which is specifically the Capcom adapter, which you can see I've also bolted in. A little clumsy there, to be honest. I probably could have done a better job there. They were definitely misaligned, but, it was my first time doing this. You'll also see that I have the Capcom CPS2 kick harness connected here, as well as the JAMA harness, this rainbow serpent wire that looks like a snake ate a leprechaun or something, connected all the way to my mother brain over here, which ignore the CPS3 unhoused. I will be getting a case for that. It looks messy, I know. And the CPS2, which looks beautiful. Shout out to TR Fight Stick for that case, the middle case. Herset. Anyways, running the C-Box Super Box here, or Super Gun, with some Saturn ports right there, as I'll walk you through in a second, as well as connected to, I can't remember the name of the place I bought it from, but a great guy, spoke with him personally, and he had a really good solution for multi-board owners. I'll have to find it out. If people are actually interested, let me know in the comments, I guess. And it's connecting all my machines right now. So I have a CPS3, CPS2, and Naomi, of course, all connected to this one strip. I flip a switch on the dip board right there. Dip switches right there, and it allows us to route it without having to constantly reconnect JAMAs. It's just it's a hassle when you're wanting to play something quickly. So that's my whole thing. It's trying to make this as seamless as possible, right? So let's follow these cables forward and show you a little bit more. As you can see, this is plugged in right here as well. I didn't really go into detail, but the VGA is connected to a converter I have. It's like the TV1 Choreo 2, and allows me to downscale 480p, and honestly I mainly use it for HD content to 240p, which looks really great. If you know anything about CRTs and more analog kind of video formats, that 240p, despite what you might see on YouTube in terms of their quality bars, is actually really nice for video signals for these analog consoles, which of course the Naomi made things much more complicated by doing VGA, but that's a whole nother video. But point being is that I'm modifying the signal, so keep in mind what you're about to see is not natively what you necessarily would see. You may not like it. I like it personally. I've always been a fan of seeing my 2D games with scan lines, but I'm just a weirdo that way. So anyways, before we get to that though, one last thing. It is connected to some smart plugs. Excuse any, dirt, and I'm remodeling the floor, actually, getting some carpets and stuff. But yeah, there's a smart plug there, so I could just say, Alexa on, or I'm not going to say it right now, obviously, but off, etc., and it'll be able to turn on my Naomi. You could hear it. You could hear Naomi mouthing off to me. And yeah, let's go ahead and walk through the actual play setup. So you can see right here, I'm actually running all my games right now. This is my daily driver, the BVM D24. the Mercedes, frankly, of BBM. Really, really beautiful. I am so thankful that I had the opportunity to purchase this thing. Would I ever do it again? Probably not. It did cost a pretty penny, but as you can see, especially in 240p, if I can get in here without the scan lines going or the signal going wild, you might be able to see some of the quality. Of course, it's a little messed up, so I'll show you in a second. But while we're waiting on that, this is how I run my games in terms of the play. Have this Sega Saturn Virtua Stick Pro right here. It's meant to emulate exactly what it says right here, the Astro City cabinets that Sega was so famous for, the candy cabs that everyone knows and loves. If you're in the FGC community, you've probably heard of these before. And yeah, we were seeing the really iconic intro of Capcom vs. SNK 2 playing. But anyways, before we get on to that stuff too, you can see right here as well a move strip. One thing I should have mentioned at the beginning when I was showing you this art over here from this poster is that I actually got this art. All the stickers are from Redbubble. I know Redbubble is not, you know, they're kind of controversial. The artists, obviously Capcom, Sega, none of the companies are receiving money from this. It's only fans making these stickers. But frankly, they put the effort in, and I like the stickers, so it was just an easy solution. You could, of course, buy your own sticker sheets and print them out, but it seemed like kind of a hassle. So you could damn me, if you will, in the comments, but I thought they were pretty cool. So some holographic ones, too. I think my favorite has to be probably the True Love Manking one. I love how it has Sabiki, the silhouette of Viki, who Last Blade's my favorite fighting game actually of all time, so love to see that. Anyways, I've gone on enough tangents. This is from a seller on eBay. I can't remember their name exactly, but if you search Astro City artwork for any sort of specific game, you will most likely find them. I think they're like Seirei Sensei, something like that. They have a cool name, but they saw all your needs. Really nice guy. He'll work with you on hopefully getting you a deal too if you're ordering quite a bit. I've had a few dealings with him. He's an awesome guy. So yeah, let's go ahead and go back to some game footage hopefully and close out this video watching the attract mode actually. And there you go. You can kind of see the camera's not going too crazy. Kind of see the quality. So it's outputting 240p there. That's a little bit better. It's outputting 240p like I said. I could set it to 480p. This monitor can handle 480p. But again, there's just something about seeing these sprites with scan lines that not just as nostalgia, but I think it's just how it's properly meant to be displayed. Ironically, this game was not really meant to be displayed with scan lines necessarily. You could do 480i, but I digress. So anyways, this has been a really long video. I rambled enough, as tend the quality of my videos. So if you appreciated this, let me know in the comments. And yeah, go ahead and like and subscribe, because I actually do want to produce a few more videos, and I think this is a good excuse to start doing so. So yeah, love the Naomi. If you love fighting games, I'm going to definitely be covering more of that kind of stuff, and plenty of sharing plenty of love about, you know, specifically Capcom vs. SNK 2, because Marvel vs. Capcom 2, you know, it's going to take you for a ride. It's going to that's going to be the top tier for the community. But frankly, I'm a big believer that, and this is a controversial take, maybe, I don't know, maybe it's not, that CVS2 I think is a superior game. So I'll leave on that. Flame me in the comments, and yeah, thanks for checking out the setup. So there it is one more time. Bye.